Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming today. We're kind of making this a habit, making big announcements at the UPMC Event Center, and this is probably the biggest one we've made in the last couple of days. I'm Dr. Chris Howard, the 8th president of Robert Morris University, and it's my distinct pleasure to welcome back to Colonial Country Chris King, who we are pleased to introduce as our next Vice President and Director of Athletics. You think that applause was loud, that's because half of Chris King's family's here. So, Chris is a 1994 graduate of RMU's highly regarded sports management program, and he has spent the last 10 years as the Director of Intercollegiate Athletics at the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. He was a winner of the 2018 NACDA Under Armour Division I AAA Athletic Director of the Year Award, an honor that was richly deserved for the formidable record for success that he has completed during his time and compiled at his time at UTRGV. Under Chris's leadership, UTRGV joined the Western Athletic Conference, or the WAC, very near and dear to my heart. I played in the WAC back in 1875 myself. He did that in 2013, having previously been an independent NCAA Division I institution. The UTRGV men's basketball team has made 2 straight postseason appearances, while the women's basketball team has reached the postseason in 4 of the last 5 years. Since joining the conference, UTRGV has won 4 team and 32 individual WAC championships. Over the past 4 years, athletics fundraising increased 30%, ticket sales increased 107%, and corporate sponsorship revenue increased by 47%. Previously, Chris worked at the University of Central Florida and at the University of Alabama, and it is a particular point of pride that Chris has enjoyed such a prolific career as a graduate of Robert Morris University. The former president of the University of Alabama said that he slept easy. President Witt, who runs the whole system, said that he rested easy when he knew that Chris King was dealing with compliance at the University of Alabama. He has been a loyal alumnus and donor, a member of the RMU Sport Management Advisory Board, and the RMU Sport Management Hall of Fame. He is coming back to Robert Morris to take the Colonials to the next level, to build on our culture of winning, which this sparkling new facility, the UPMC Event Center, represents so well. The Colonials have won 49 regular season championships and 50 conference tournament titles. Most recently, the men's golf team and the men's lacrosse team earned bids to the NCAA tournament, with lacrosse playing Virginia Saturday and golf competing next Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday in Myrtle Beach. Let's give the golf team and the lacrosse team a round of applause. Both their coaches are here. Also, this year's women's basketball competed in the NCAA tournament, which made the first year in RMU history that 3 teams earned an automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. In fact, it's our student athletes who will benefit the most from Chris King's leadership, because above all else, Chris prizes the student athlete experience. Now, before I turn the podium over to Chris, I want to thank the search committee led by Ellen Wachowski, Vice President for Human Resources, which fielded 100 candidates. Ellen, you here? Thank you, Ellen. That says a lot about where RMU is going and about Chris King for rising to the top of that distinguished list of candidates. I also want to thank Marty Galosi, Acting Director of Athletics, and his entire staff for their leadership during this transition. Marty, thank you very much. I received several texts and tweets and posts and pigeon posts, everything you can imagine, about Chris King being named athletic director. From athletic directors across the country, presidents, senior leaders, other coaches, athletic directors. And I got one this morning from Dan Radakovich. I want to read it very quickly. Dan Radakovich and I serve in the college football playoff selection committee together. Actually, Dan rotated off last year, but Dan is a Center, Pennsylvania native. He is a athletic director at Georgia Tech. He's the AD at Clemson. And when he saw the news about Chris King, he sent me a note. He says, Chris King is an awesome hire, and quote unquote, he will make a difference. Ladies and gentlemen, the difference maker, Chris King.
Dr. Howard, thank you for those nice and kind words. I don't think I've ever been called a difference maker before. Maybe back when I was a basketball player with one of my good buddies here at Apollo Ridge, but that would have been years and years ago. It's a privilege. It's an honor. I'm very humbled to be named the next Vice President and Director of Athletics at my alma mater, Robert Morris University. I want to thank Dr. Howard and the search committee for giving me this incredible opportunity. You know, this position became very appealing to me. One is because my alma mater. I'm from Western Pennsylvania. I grew up here. But Dr. Howard, he's got an incredible reputation throughout higher education. He understands the importance of how athletics and higher education align in the big scheme of things at universities. He's on 4 or 5 different industry athletic organizations, including the College Football Playoff Committee. And I'm very excited to be mentored by him over the next hopefully number of years. He has got, I mean, he's a Rhodes Scholar. You know, he understands athletics. He played college football. You know, he's got a Harvard business degree. There's just not a lot of presidents in this country that have those type of qualifications and background. And so thank you for this honor, and very humbled that you chose me as the next athletic director. I did want to thank Ellen Wachowski and the search committee. I know I've served numerous times as search chair as well as on search committees through the years, and I know it's a lot of time, it's a lot of effort, a lot of coordination, and so I appreciate everything that you did through the process. Ellen, thank you. I know you've been great in the last week as we were trying to finalize everything to get here today for the press conference, so thank you very much. I would be very remiss if I didn't thank my family back in the Rio Grande Valley, UTRGV. Yesterday was a very difficult day, very emotional day, not just for them, but for me. You know, I met with them early in the morning, the department staff and coaches, and when you're there for 10 years, and everybody's been hired underneath, you know, my watch in the leadership, and so you get to know the staff and coaches. You know, I care about every one of them. And so they did an unbelievable, terrific job in elevating our athletics program. They believed in our culture, they believed in our purpose. And, you know, I'm going to miss them. I know a lot of them are watching right now live, so just wanted them to know how special they were to me, and it's just been a terrific 10 years. I did want to recognize my current president, Dr. Guy Bailey, and my former president, Dr. Robert Nelson, who's now the current president of Sacramento State. I've had 2 incredible presidents over the past 10 years. Being a first-time athletic director at age 36 10 years ago, Dr. Nelson and I came in together. And I learned an awful lot about athletics and how it works and fits into the higher education, and just had 10 great years with two presidents, and I just want to thank them for everything they've done for me and my career and for my family. It's unfortunate my wife and kids couldn't be here today. Academics comes first, and my daughters both have state mandatory exams, and it is unfortunate because they are a big part of my life and my personal and professional career. You know, you're going to get to know them very well. You know, we have, I know at UTRGV we had 120 live events, and I'm assuming we have just as many here at Robert Morris, and I'm at almost every event. And so my wife at times wants to chop me off the knees and tell me to come home some, but they attend most all the events, and you get to know my 9 and 6-year-old. They run around everywhere. They're the ones that stamp on the metal bleachers and cause everybody havoc. I did want to recognize that I do have family, and one of my childhood buddies here, my dad, Alan, my stepmother, Lorraine, my sister, Amanda, and my childhood best friend, Teddy Patterson, were here, and I appreciate you being here today for this special day, so thank you. So 25 years ago, a little over 25 years ago, I transferred into Robert Morris College, wanted to get back into sports in the sport management program. I had terrific faculty. I had a number of internships. This was the best, and I don't say personal decision, it's the best professional decision of my life to come to this university. I never would have thought in a million years, 25 years later, I'd be standing before you as a vice president of that university that meant so much to me a number of years ago. Dave Shinoka is here. He's grayed a little bit through the years, but he's been a personal friend and a colleague for over those 25 years. We're published together. And so, Dave, I appreciate you being here today. Dr. Susan Hoffaker was the director of sport management at the time. She was the associate senior women's administrator before she became the athletic director. She saw something in me that I didn't see in myself at the time. She pushed me hard, and you know, I wouldn't have gotten into college athletics if it wasn't for her. And you know, she's passed, of course, but she meant an awful lot to me as a student, and she was an incredible mentor as I came up through here. I got into college athletics. Dr. Bob McGee was the athletic director, and Dr. Hoffaker had sent me down into his office, and so I was talking to him about trying to get in somewhere, interning or getting some volunteer experience, because she thought I would be good in college athletics. And he had his head turned down. He wouldn't pay attention. And I basically just told him, I just think you're kind of rude. And he looked at me and he said, you know what, son? We need help in compliance down the hall, right? And so that's how my career started. Started in compliance. So he sent me down the hall, and no one ever wants to start in compliance. That was his penalty for what he thought was being disrespectful. But it was a great time of my life, and I'm excited about returning to continue that time of my life with my family as representing this university, and also you know, becoming the next athletic director. I think most of my career, I've been gone for 25 years. I've been in Virginia, North Carolina, Florida, Alabama. I always knew I was going to get back to this part of the country, Western Pennsylvania, the Pittsburgh region. Even though you've been gone for 25 years, this part of the country, for those of you that grew up here, that aren't outsiders, you understand that. It's just an incredible region. You know, you have family and friends, longtime friends and acquaintances, and I know the King family is very excited about getting back to Western Pennsylvania. It's an incredible sports town, probably one of the top sports towns in the entire country. Robert Morris is at a much different level now, athletically, than what they were when I was here, and even 5 to 6, 7, 8 years ago, the competitive success has really kind of elevated in the last several years. And so very excited about that. Looking forward to working with the senior administrative staff, the President's Cabinet for Dr. Howard. I've worked at UTRGV now for 10 years on the President's Cabinet. Been looking forward to getting to know the Vice Presidents and working hand in hand and making sure athletics aligns our values, our culture, our purpose, our goals with the university's values and goals and purpose. And so very excited about having that opportunity. Very excited also about getting to know the community, getting to know our donor base, reaching out to former letter winners and former players. I think that's a big part of the athletic director's job. I know Dr. Howard has some very audacious goals for me already in regards to revenue generation. We will put together a very aggressive, what I feel, marketing and public relations and revenue generation development plan. And so excited about that opportunity in this role. What to expect. The first 100 days, I gave the search committee a 100-day plan. I've got this on my whiteboard in my office. I have this quote up there. It says the 3 things that make or break any organization or sports team. It's by author John Gordon. One is culture, leadership, and people. And so the first 100 days, we're going to spend an awful lot of time looking at what is the culture within athletics. What does that leadership model look like? And then make sure we're investing in our people and our staff. I think that's something that is really crucial to set the tone as we get into this next academic year. There's some keys to the success and the process that I've had as the athletic director for the last 10 years. I think it's important we take a look at, to talk a little bit about what I'll be thinking about in regards to the vision and the future and the growth and success of this program. And, really it comes around building that championship culture. One of the things I think the keys and main strategic priorities is going to be, of course, aligning our culture and values within the university's culture and values. We want to define what the RMU Athletics brand looks like. How does that align with the university's brand? How do we send our message about our culture, our leadership model, and the people, the talent we have with the coaches and staff and our student athletes? How do we include that within our brand? How do we win campus? How do we win the community? How do we win game day? That's a message that we want to put into our brand, and we really need to reach out to the community and institute what I feel is a very strong marketing and branding plan immediately. We want to invest in our people. We want to invest and align our department structure, and what does that look like over the next 60 to 90 days. One of the things that I've said many times when I speak is I think the number one key to success for an athletic director is you have to attract, hire, retain, attract, hire, develop, and retain your coaches and staff. No different than the head coaches. They have to attract and sign, recruit, develop, and graduate their student athletes. And so that kind of philosophy we are going to instill within our department. I think it's very important when you're looking at investing in your people. Because to me, in 24 years in college athletics, the number one commodity you got is your people, is your staff. And so that's one reason why yesterday was so hard and so emotional, is because I'm very invested into the department, in those people that work with and work for me. We want to invest in our purpose. I know Dr. Howard talked a little bit about the student-athlete experience and how important that is to me. Our purpose is going to be preparing our student-athletes for excellence life from the time of recruitment until the time of graduation. We want to be committed to our student-athlete experience. We want to be committed to student success. We want to be committed to our student-athlete welfare. And so some of the things that you take a look at when you take a look at the student-athlete experience, first and foremost, is you want to have a commitment to excellent athletic facilities. We are sitting in more than an excellent athletic facility. This thing is just, as you've said, it's a game changer. It's a game changer for the basketball programs, a game changer for the volleyball, it's a game changer for the entire university. And we want to have that for all of the athletic facilities. I think it's really, really important, particularly for the recruiting and for that experience that the student athletes have, for whether it's for 2 years or 4 years. One thing I do want to mention I think is really impressive is, and I'm going to commend Dr. Howard and Matt Millett and the development staff, is that this center was funded 100% by corporate sponsorships and private funding. That's very, very impressive. Particularly in higher ed today. Usually, most of the time, that doesn't occur. And so, Dr. Howard and your team, you should be commended for that. One of the things we want to take a look at in student-athlete experience, we want to have a commitment to our student success with our academic advising, our counseling, our life skills program. When I was going through this process, I was amazed. The academic GPA for the whole department is at 3.44. 14 of the 16 teams had a 3.2 grade point average or higher. 10 of the sports had a 985 academic progress rate or higher. That's amazing. That's a testament to the coaches, recruiting the best and the brightest. It's a testament to the student athletes, a testament to the student services staff here at the university. You should be very proud of yourselves, and I'm hoping to sustain that. They asked me in the interview if we could exceed that. I said, I'm not sure. That's pretty darn impressive. We want to have a commitment to our student-athlete welfare. We want to have first-rate medical care, first-rate strength and conditioning, first-rate nutrition, mental and wellness programs. I think it's absolutely crucial, particularly in recruiting this day and age. Those are things that we want to have a commitment and invest into for the student-athlete experience. And of course, and most importantly, we have a commitment to highly competitive athletic programs. We want to have a commitment to high-quality coaching. If you take a look at this past year, you have 3 sports who have won conference championships or going on to the NCAA tournament. I want to wish men's golf good luck next week. I want to wish men's lacrosse good luck this Saturday. Very proud of those sports programs and really kind of elevate this athletic program, particularly as the spring season is concluding. When you invest in competitive success, what are some of the main priorities you look for sports programs? And I can tell you, because there's really 5 main areas that coaches always will come to me about. One is, of course, facility enhancements. We have to make a commitment to facility enhancements. This is an incredible facility, but why stop here? Again, aggressive plans, audacious thinking. Facility enhancements really take you to that next level, and I know where all the coaches in this room want to go. Your personnel and talent. You got to have high-quality coaching. This day and age with Generation Z and student athletes, they have higher expectations. And so we'll have a lot of personal and professional development and leadership development within a department. It's something I very highly believe in, and I can tell you the UTRGV coaches have enjoyed that. They have grown, they have developed, which, of course, it improves our student-athlete experience. Technology, recruiting, scheduling, these are some of the most important areas that we want to commit to and invest in over the next couple of years. I'm a big believer in technology. I think it's, as we continue to grow, data analytics, one of the majors here at the university. We want to tap into that program without a doubt. Sometimes you don't have as many resources as you need, but you know what? You have resources when you have academic programs like data analytics, sport management, and so those are things that we'll look into to improve the student-athlete experience. Recruiting. If you can't recruit, you're not going to win. Simple as that. And so one of the things I'll take a look at when I look at budgets, is our recruiting budgets at the level they need to be? Have we allocated the funds the right way in those important areas? Because again, it comes down to investing in your people and your talent, which is our student athletes. That's our number one priority. And scheduling. We want to take a look at scheduling. I know we got Pitt coming in. It's very gracious, very kind of them to come in to open up the UPMC Event Center. But we had a pretty aggressive scheduling policy at UTRGV, and we had 6 teams crack the top 100 this year for the first time, based off of strength of schedule and RPI. And so those are some of the things that we'll take a look at and improve the student-athlete experience. So, kind of summarize everything. I know the media probably has some questions. How do we invest in our future vision, our growth, and our success? We definitely have to build on previous revenue generation successes. I'm going to work with Matt Millett and his team. We want to be able to put in a really strong and aggressive revenue generation plan. We want to develop meaningful relationships. I use that phrase an awful lot. We want to commit to getting out there in the community. I've already made 8 phone calls last night on the way here. Got in about 11 o'clock and talked to 6 of the top most influential people for this university, not just for athletics. So that's something that we will commit to. And we want to develop those relationships with our donor base and our former players and the community members. Part of that, developing the RMU athletics brand, is going to be reaching out to the surrounding communities. We want to put butts in seats, right? But we also we want to get students on campus because they're future students. It's called student engagement. So there's a lot of different things that will be part of combining and aligning the RMU brand and the RMU athletics brand. And to be honest with you, our goal is to win in the classroom, to win in the playing fields and playing courts, and to win in this community. I believe in that. And one of the things I stress all the time is I say our student athletes, whether it's 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the road, in my case, wasn't a student athlete, but 25 years ago, if they didn't have a world-class experience, then I will have failed them as the athletic director. That's how serious we take the student-athlete experience, and we will here at Robert Morris. So again, from the King family, we're ecstatic to be here. We're ecstatic to be part of the family. Dr. Howard, appreciate this opportunity. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to get here, hopefully sometime beginning of June. And you and I are going to get our track shoes on, and we're going to get out there and continue to elevate this athletics program. The only question I have is, and a lot of you are going to have to give me advice on this, when you go out and you speak with Dr. Howard, do you start off or do you end? Because he's very charismatic. He speaks very well. And so if you go first and he comes behind you, you look bad. If he speaks first and you come behind him, you bore everybody, So anyway, I want to thank everybody for coming out. It means a lot to me. And I'm looking forward to meeting every one of you. And I mean that. The first 100 days, I'm going to meet an awful lot of people. And I'm listening and learning rather than leading. And so I look forward to all your feedback, your soliciting your input. I need to learn a lot. Part of what I say a lot of times is I maybe have a little state of incompetence compared to most of you because I'm coming in with not a lot of information. So I'm going to really rely on a lot of you in this room to help me get me up to speed so I can lead this and elevate this athletic program to another level. Thank you. Jonathan, Jim? Yes, sir.
It seems like as someone who grew up here and then worked in various places in the country for a long time, you have an interesting perspective on this. When you talk about the brand and sort of image of RMU sports, what do you think it is locally? What is that image? What do you think it is nationally? And you'd like to see
Well, I don't know what the image is locally. That's going to be part of the first few months and really kind of jumping in with the university's marketing team and the athletics marketing team as well. And when I say we're going to put a marketing and branding plan together, we're talking about a media communications plan, a ticket sales plan, a corporate sales plan, social media plan. It is a very elaborate plan to get out there. And again, we want to get the community interested in RMU athletics. We want to get them on this campus. I use an example a lot of times when I speak and what that brand looks like. What's that fan experience that when they get on this campus and they come in this incredible facility? it's going to look a lot different than what it did last year, going up to the Student Recreation Center. So from the time when someone gets in their car and they pull out of their driveway, they come on campus here, what are the traffic patterns? They pull into the facility, they walk into the door, they're at the ticket office, what is the customer service like? They go and they sit in their seats. Is it difficult to get to the seats? How are the concessions? How the restrooms clean? That's all your brand. And so you have to take that very, very, very seriously because, again, you may not get that person that comes back. It's easier to retain somebody than it is to find somebody new. And so that's why I said about defining the RMU Athletics brand, it was the second part. Culture is always first, right? Your values are always first. But your brand is your name. It's how you tell your story. And so we're going to tell a heck of a story here over the next year.
All right, if no one else has any questions, Chris and Dr. Howard will be available for any individual interviews for the next few minutes. So no one's going to get any questions for Chris at the podium. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.